Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another Shadow of the Golden Dome interview. This one was not expected, but I'll go into that in just a second. But we're joined by Collin Stoecker, 2019 Notre Dame graduate, former Irish baseball player, Monogram club member as well, former assistant athletic director for student athlete development and NIL at Western Kentucky. And today, it looks like he comes to us from his office somewhere on Boise State University, as he's recently accepted a role of the assistant athletic director for Bronco Pro at the school there. Colin, how you doing, brother?
Great, man. Awesome to join you. Thank you for the opportunity to talk and excited to get going.
Man, me too, man. We talked a little bit before we went online here. We've got a lot to talk about, but let's start here. Let's talk about the reason we met, which is awesome. And then as I looked into you, I was like, I need to get you on. So you were the winner of our veteran, our first and will be annual veteran giveaway. So two tickets to the Boise State game. Awesome coincidence. So we received a ton of entries for this thing, and I'm gonna just touch. I want to briefly read the email you sent, if you don't mind, and then speak about your grandfather, and we'll talk about that before we roll into other things. So here was the email that you sent to the group. My name is Colin, and I'm a 2019 grad of Notre Dame and a former baseball student athlete. I'd like to nominate my grandfather George to attend the Boise State game. My grandfather is an Army vet, having served overseas in multiple locations, including Germany, Korea, and other areas. He joined the Army as a young man and built his life for our family. He is one of the biggest supporters, was one of my biggest supporters growing up, and he and my father have a shared love for Notre Dame, but he's never been to a Notre Dame game. The last time he was on campus was for my graduation in 2019. This would also be special because I've just accepted the position you just did as assistant AD for the university, and hopefully will be traveling back to South Bend for the game. My grandfather's worked hard his entire life, supported our family. He and my father are two amazing men and role models. I strive each day to be like them and would love for them to take this trip together. I'm also moving 27 hours away at the time you were at Western Kentucky and have accepted this new job. Nothing would make me happier than to be able to see them in South Bend this fall. Talk about your grandfather briefly. Obviously, it sounds like your grandfather and father will go to the game, and hopefully you'll be on campus as well. Talk about your grandfather for a second.
Man, I've been so blessed to have two role models in my life, my father and my grandfather. Colin Papa, he is just an awesome man, kind of self-made. Was in the Army, traveled all across the world, and really built our family from the ground up. Just a special man, and my dad always says it has an infectious laugh that'll make a room laugh. And I've been so lucky just growing up right outside of Nashville, him being in attendance to all baseball games and big life events and different things there. And even with me being 8 hours away in South Bend, or when I was an hour and a half away in Bowling Green, I just one of my biggest supporters throughout my career, and someone who has really followed along with me and been along for the ride with me and supporting me. And my dad is kind of the ultimate Notre Dame fan. I'm 28 years old. When I guess it was 30 years ago. This will either be year 30 or 31. Him and my mom both drove up to Notre Dame for the first time. Went to the grotto and said they hoped they had a kid that would have the opportunity to go to Notre Dame. And turned out that I had the opportunity to go there with baseball, and just kind of a shared love for Notre Dame in my family. I grew up with a Golden Dome helmet on the wall in my bedroom, and was always just loved the Irish. And it was a connection between my grandfather and my dad, and big Irish Catholic German family here as well. So we've always loved Notre Dame, and it's just kind of ingrained into our family. I've been so lucky to have the connection with my grandparents, and specifically my grandfather, and seeing the bond that he has with my dad. And the bond that I have with my dad and my grandfather as well. It's just when I came across what you were doing, I've always looked for ways to honor the service and giving back. I think that's something that's been really big in our family. And my grandfather's someone who he goes out and rings the bell at Christmas out in front of the grocery store, and he's giving back. And he's such a selfless person who is always looking to help others. And then always looking to help our family. And I've been so blessed to have him in my life. And again, what you guys are doing and honoring veterans, I think is so special. And I was so thankful when we were able to connect and talk through that. But no, man, I'm just so lucky and blessed to have the role models in my life to set me up for success and give an example, and along with my other grandfather as well on my mom's side, and just so many great men in my life who have shown me how to live the right and positive way.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. And yeah, I'm happy we're able to do it too. We've just gotten big enough where we're able to do cool things and collect just enough money where we can start giving it back. And that's always been the goal. And we've kind of just hit that point. And it's awesome that your grandpa's gonna be the first recipient of that. I just regardless of the climate out there, the fact of the matter is we're sitting here talking over two computers in part because of sacrifices made. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. Like that's an unequivocal fact. So they deserve it and they deserve to be honored more than they are. So I'm glad you're part of that too, man. It's really awesome. And your grandfather would be part of that too. Do you know if you're going to be on campus yet?
I don't know yet.
Okay,
My goal is to be in South Bend for the game. I
cool.
haven't been to a game since my last year of working at Notre Dame. So excited to go back. I've been back to campus once or twice,
Mhm.
but my goal is to be on campus, hopefully with my new fiance and my family, and for us to be there. I spoke to my grandfather this past weekend, and just how things are helping my family. It's been tough for some travel things for him, and to hear
Yeah.
his excitement and the opportunity to go, I was just it lit me up in excitement of it, just what we're going to be able to do for him, which is
That's
awesome.
awesome. Well, and if you are able, and your grandfather and father obviously welcome, but if you are, you got to come by because that'll be our second annual tailgate too. You got to come by,
Awesome.
say hi. Um,
Definitely.
so let's touch on Notre Dame, and then we've got NIL, we've got Boise, we got all kinds of things. Let's start here. So you are 2019 grad. I believe you went to Louisville for education after, correct?
So I did my master's in sport administration online while working at Notre Dame. So I was working as a coordinator of student athlete development, and then on the weekends was doing a asynchronous master's of sport admin online at Louisville while working there.
Very cool. Well, I already kind of know the answer because I heard it kind of in the intro leading up, but was it was always Notre Dame? I just needed a scholarship. I needed a way in. What was your decision process like? What sold you on South Bend? Can you kind of walk us through what kind of led to you getting there?
Yeah, I mean, I got to a point where I had the opportunity to play for a travel ball team out of Atlanta, and that's what opened the door to some bigger opportunities for me. Was on a team that went, I think we went 66-3 in the summer, and our entire lineup either went in the draft or went and played big time
Wow.
baseball. And when Notre Dame came calling, it was a dream. It was the one hope that I had always had of where I could be. And I'll never forget, and with my head coach, Mick Aoki, he kind of laid the offer down in front of me and said, "Do you have any questions?" And I remember I said, "Do I have to walk out the door to commit, or can I do it right here? And can we just get it over with?" So it was the dream, and it was a really unique dream. And just, again, that was growing up what I had always hoped and where I wanted to be at. And I knew going on campus as a kid, and then as a recruit, just the feeling you get being there it was different. It was special, and I was very lucky to have that opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And did you play all 4 years then for the Irish?
Yeah, so a unique piece of my story and kind of how I got into college athletics. So about 2 months into school, I had an injury. I tore my rotator cuff. I had double reconstructive rotator cuff surgery, and was retired by Christmas of my sophomore year. So I kind of had to figure out how I was going to continue to make my impact. Stayed all 4 years, became kind of a student assistant coach on the team, I ran our community outreach and service for the baseball team, and then I also ran all of our social media, working with our SIDs at the time, which was a really cool opportunity, kind of giving me some exposure to an athletic department, and was so proud. We won what was called the Trophy Award, which is Notre Dame's athletic department's community service award. Won it 2 years in a row, and it was the first time baseball had won it since I think 2001. So I was super excited with that, and in the work that I was able to do with the baseball team, kind of turn that in and working with our student athlete development department there. And 3 days after graduation, was able to earn that job as a coordinator of student athlete development, and kind of oversaw community outreach and engagement for all 26 sports, and working with football a little bit and kind of their department and Hunter Bivin and their group there, but the rest of the sports kind of setting up what our community service would look like there. So a unique journey. Again, the dream was always to play, and
Hmm.
I think that one of the things in life that I'm most proud of is having that monogram and it says on it, for service to the university, and I had to find that unique way to give back to the university because it gave me so much, and my injury prevented me from really having the opportunity to perform on the field, but finding different ways, excuse me, in our community to make an impact while I was there.
Yeah, I thought that was, I'm glad you touched on that. It was a good segue to something I wanted to talk about. What I found really cool about your story, and I mean, you're not even 30 years old, and you're at Notre Dame and you're helping student athletes develop. You're like you were coordinating outreach for all the teams, right? Is Where does that selflessness come from? Uh, was it an organic, like, well, damn, I can't play. Let me get into this. Oh, I'm digging this. Or have you always had that kind of, I want to figure out a way to give back. I want to figure out a way to do something bigger than sports? Because that certainly is. And you were doing that at a very, very young age.
Yeah, I think it comes again when my dad was my middle school basketball coach, and something that we did every Christmas was we went to the VA home, and we brought gift bags and met with veterans and had that. So always have had kind of that touch for service. When I was in high school in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, I volunteered with the inclusion daycare. So half of the students in the class had special needs, and half of the students in the class were kind of advanced for their age, and gave back there. But I found after I got hurt, I needed help in kind of finding what my way was, and I found a kindergarten class in South Bend at Pearlie Elementary School, and we went. I started going 2 to 3 days a week, and then I started bringing teammates along. So it started with they helped me more than I think I was helping them. Of just I needed to find a way and find a way to give back and help. And I've always loved working with kids. And I come from a family of teachers. My mom is a longtime teacher and now principal. My dad's a teacher. My sister's a teacher. My fiance is a teacher. So giving back in the school system has always been so important for me. And again, they were helping me as I kind of worked through mentally where I was at with my injury. And then like I said, I started taking 2 to 3 guys along with me, and then it was the whole team, and it kind of built from there, and just have kind of always connected with, again, doing something bigger than myself. I've been
Mhm.
so blessed in the opportunities that I've been put in, even if some of them haven't turned out the way that I had envisioned and kind of God's vision of how it was going to go. But I've just, again, been so blessed. And then helping our student, I think I have a calling for helping our student athletes understand in the platform that they receive, that, hey, we got to take care of these people who mean so much to us. And I think that was the message that I always tried to communicate, was that we're so lucky, and we're on borrowed time here. And while you're here, you've got to utilize that platform and understand that you have an opportunity to make an impact in people's lives.
Yeah, I was watching an interview or reading an article on you in preparation for this, and you go as far as, and I can't remember, I'm sure you do it here now at Boise, but I know the article I was reading was talking about your time in Ohio, and you go as far as to teach kids elevator pitches, how they can go and elevator pitch for NIL opportunities and things like that. I mean, you are all encompassing helping these kids mature. I mean, really, and get ready for adulthood. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, my role at Western Kentucky was really unique. I in my role there, kind of a split between student athlete development and NIL, and again, trying to pass it on to the next student athlete of we've got to be ready for that next step of life. And I think NIL gives student athletes the opportunity to kind of live in that internship world with real world expectations and some of these deals that our kids are entering into. And yeah, we focused in kind of my student athlete development program side of things on elevator pitch. So 30 seconds or less, tell me who you are, what you're about, what you're trying to accomplish. How do we write a resume that showcases your skills as a student athlete and kind of bring those to the forefront, even if you might not have been able to go get a 6 to 8 week internship. Hey, that's okay. We're going to use the skills that you have as a student athlete to showcase the things that you can do and bring to a business. And we worked on LinkedIn. We worked on all these skills in our student athlete development program, and now blessed to be here with Boise State and work with Sarah and our Bronco Life team here, and continuing to do the same similar thing there of how do we bring out the student athletes understanding their values and understanding the skills that we need to be successful. And those skills are directly can translate between, hey, I need a job when my career is over with, and hey, I want to go earn a brand opportunity right now through the NIL space. So I think it's a really special way that I think I've found that I can again stay connected to student athletes, stay connected to giving back, and setting up this kind of next generation of student athlete for success in the market on a day-to-day basis, and then also in their life when that time, whether it's next week, whether it's after their 4 years, or whether it's after a 10-year professional career, that they're going to be prepared to go down the line and be successful in the workforce.
Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, not only, the landscape of college football is changing rapidly, and I mean, we've had another big change here recently. It's really as we shift more now into a revenue sharing situation, and we're really in a posture of you're basically a semi-pro. Like, let's get you, you're almost a semi-pro and you're an athlete and you've got these eyes on you. Now, like, let's prepare you for that, almost for that fame, for that notoriety. And also, if you aren't one of the few, because not many make it to the professional level, let's at least use this and parlay this into skills that you can sell in the job field. Like, it's really, really cool, man. Let's just roll into this because this is what I'm super amped to talk to you about this. I feel there's a million opinions out there about NIL. I think a lot of people talk about it and really don't know what they're talking about. I'm one. But you are, I mean, honest to God, you are probably one of the authorities on this. And we're going to talk about Boise now and NIL, but you were the NIL manager of the year last year. Was it 24 or 23? I read. You're really on the forefront of this. So I know my group is trying to grasp what the heck, what is NIL? What's this look like? How's it change college football? You've got a million opinions out there. Mike Gunny, Oklahoma State, saying, let's just call it what it is. They're employees. Deion Sanders is saying we need a salary cap. Where are you with the NIL thing, and with your role now at Boise, how do you view the retention thing versus the recruitment thing? How do you think it changes recruiting? Like, where are you on the NIL space? It's here, it's not going away, whether we like it or don't like it. And you're kind of on that cutting edge. So, how do you view the NIL space now moving forward? And how are you using your tools at Boise State to get things done?
Yeah, I think you have to embrace it. I think it's part, like you said, it's part of college athletics now. You have to really go for it and understand that it's going to be a part of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And I think what we've done here at Boise State, it's truly special in kind of how we've built out our Bronco Pro department, which stands for Professional Resources Organization. So there's different pieces of our department, and just kind of explain that there is our revenue share piece, which Boise State is proud, and I'm really excited for kind of the rollout of that piece of what we're doing here. There is our educational piece of it, so our financial literacy and understanding and ensuring that our student athletes, as they start to earn and have the opportunity to earn more money, whether it is through the revenue share or whether it's through what we call our authentic NIL bucket, that they're educated and making smart decisions, whether it comes to taxes, whether it comes to investing, those different opportunities down the line, and then the authentic NIL piece of it, and that's where I think I've had a lot of success in the industry of just helping our student athletes understand the content side of things and how to go grow a brand. We talk about a lot of times in our conversations is you have this window of influence as a student athlete.
Hmm.
And you have this athletic influence. You have these windows of influence that can help you and kind of go. Our goal is to grow that social influence that you have to where it is continuing to grow. Your athletic influence there'll always be a piece of it throughout your
Hmm.
career, but once your career finishes, it'll kind of fall off and you'll have less there. But can we grow a social brand? Can we help you grow a profile that whenever your sport is finished, you'll have the opportunity to continue to at least earn, hopefully, a supplement to your income down the future from what you've grown there. So I see the NIL space as an opportunity, and just like, especially in the authentic NIL bucket, which is where my team is focusing a lot of our efforts right now in kind of the sales process and going and having conversations. I see it as an opportunity again for education, for learning how to be a professional, how to operate as in a professional way, and teaching those skills there. But also, again, my goal is how do I create as many mutually beneficial relationships between our local businesses, national businesses, and our student athletes in a way that is going to, again, enhance their ability and to be successful while they're here with us, and then open opportunities and doors down the line. We talk about the ability while growing your NIL and the opportunities there. Like, are you kind of angling yourself for a future career as a podcaster? Are you angling yourself for an opportunity in sports media? Are you looking to get into finance? Like, what are you looking to get out of this? And can we angle your brands that you're working with to open doors and future opportunities for you there? So, I think again, it's a special time in college athletics. I think what we're doing here at Boise State, it's really innovative. And I'm so excited to see this next year kind of go forward as our team continues to build out, and the successes that these small wins that we're having on a day-to-day basis it's been really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm listening to you and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, so is your team, your specific kind of niche that you're working on at Boise State, you talking about social media and things like that and building those brands and those connections. Is there almost something like social media training? I mean, are you helping build an Instagram, I mean, I don't even know Facebook people use that as much, but Instagram and TikTok and things like that. Is that part of what your team's doing? Like, hey, this is probably not what you want to post. This is probably what you'd like to post. Talk about that a little bit. Is there some almost social media training involved here too?
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing, we've created an onboarding process to again enter the NIL space, and we've done this in collaboration with our student athlete development unit. In this collaboration, what we're doing is again getting them those life skills that they need to understand. Hey, here are my values. Here is how I operate and how I have those conversations to an elevator pitch. Here are the different skills that I need there. But we're also going through some of that training. So we have a specific piece of it that is how do you build your profile in a correct way? How do you start to think about content that's not just with your sport? So how do we encourage the student athlete to be active on social media in a way that is matching their passion and values? So I think a lot of times that you see athletes they get kind of stuck in a content creation space because they can handle the sports side of things, and they might not understand, hey, what is the next thing that I can post?
Yeah.
And we're also working through there comes a history of, as a former student athlete, being in a locker room. The guy that's most active on social media, they might not be the favorite in the locker room, and but someone might say that, hey, they're not focusing, and we're kind of working to change the mindset around that of, hey, my NIL, my whole group is a business, and there's a correct time to be on social media and to be active, and there's a correct time to be focused on your sport and doing what I need to do there. So helping the student athlete, the young adults discern the proper times between both. But also when it is time that if we're going to go all in on this NIL thing and look for those opportunities, we have to give it attention, just like we give attention to our academics and attention to our sport and the different things there. If you truly want to be successful with it, we have to treat it like a business and treat it like we're operating in that way, while also respecting that the keeping the main thing, which
Hmm.
is we're here to earn a degree and we're here to win championships.
Yeah, do you find it's funny you say that because as you were talking, I'm thinking about, you've got 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, right? And I mean, they're all on their phones all day long, right? Or they're video gaming or they're playing sports, right? And it's like, Do you find yourself having issues keeping them on track and focusing on those kind of things? I mean, a student athlete's a special kind of kid to begin with. They've got the drive, they've got the fire. But do you find yourself figuring out a way to kind of, almost funnel that energy in the right way? What do you feel, what is one of the biggest things you find kind of teaching the student athlete? Like what are one of the things you commonly find, like a thing that you kind of have to correct when you talk to them about social media and their behavior on there? Is there kind of a common theme that you look for? You're like, yeah, I see this a lot. Here's how we fix it.
Yeah, I think what not as much as a correction is more just like again an assisting hand here of
Hmm.
just the student athlete has so many decisions and things that go into a day-to-day basis. I think Coach Helton, when we were at Western Kentucky, always said from the time your feet hit the floor at 5 a.m. to the time you pull your feet up and get back into bed at 10 p.m. Like there is not a break for the student athlete. So a lot of what we've done, especially early here in my time at Boise State, is helping those student athletes who are maybe overwhelmed or feeling, okay, I've entered into some agreements. I've got summer practice going. I've got my classes. I've got all these things. How do we, in a proper way, work into our schedule? Like, what does this look like? How do we create an actual schedule to manage our time in a way that will allow us to be the most effective? Because again, these student athletes, like you said, they are elite individuals
Hmm.
who have worked their entire life to get to this spot.
Right.
In our job, again, and my staff is kind of an extension of the coaching staff, is to work with the student athlete again to make smart life decisions, to make sure that they're taking care of their mental health, to make sure that they're taking care of their physical health, and again, we don't want the student athlete to be overwhelmed. And I think that's where you have to take a step back if you're in the NIL space, if you become overwhelmed with where you're at, that, hey, you got to take a step back and again, focus on what the main thing is here. But I think that's what we work on a lot is that as the student athlete dives more into it, it can become overwhelming. I worked with a student athlete at Western Kentucky. She was the #1 brand in women's college soccer. And we designated a 30-minute window once a week. And then that was our time to go through everything that came through with her and help her through her process of that. And so I think a lot of what we're doing is helping the student athlete create a process that will allow them to be successful and not feel overwhelmed. And again, then once they kind of get it settled in that
Hmm.
time management piece ready to go, they're great individuals who can have great conversations, who have great skills, and
Right.
can really thrive in these situations. So I think a lot of what we're doing is how do we build a process to set them up for success?
Yeah, for sure. So it isn't necessarily a model where you're not monitoring everything before they hit post or send. It's just giving them the tools to say, this is smart, this is not smart. This is how you build your professional brand or your almost professional brand, right? That's kind of your secret sauce there, right? And it has been and it is now at Boise.
Yeah, a lot of what we do, and again, a lot of my interactions, we go one-on-one meetings with a student athlete. Tell me where you're at. Tell me where I can help. And a lot of it is, hey, here's some ideas for you to try on your social media. Here's some content ideas. Here's some ways that we track data. We're very data driven in what we do. Looking at the student athlete, we have some different apps and things that provide us extensive data on not only each post, but the student athlete's audience, the actual ROI that we can return back to a business through those posts as well. So we can give those to a business as we have those conversations. But a lot of times we say, hey, I want you to go take a month. I want you to go practice what we've kind of talked about, and then let's come back and evaluate where we're at. So that consistent evaluation of what the student athlete is doing, and again, helping them, hey, what am I looking at to define success in the model that we've kind of laid out? And then from there, let's make small tweaks and adjustments to our process as we go forward.
How are you finding the adjustment from Bowling Green to Boise? Are you I mean, and obviously you did a bang up job in Bowling Green. Now transitioning to Boise, kind of getting your feet under you there and feeling out the local business space and what the NIL opportunities are. Talk to me about Boise. How are you finding it? I mean, because you haven't been there that long yet. How are
Yeah,
you
no,
finding
this
Boise? What's it look like?
Yeah, this is week 8, so
Yeah.
still learning, and I've been so lucky. The team here is it's really special. Whether it's Mikey Thompson, who's a former men's basketball player here for us, Sydney Bruner, working in our community in our Learfield team, like there is such a strong foundation, who we're working with here. I think again, it's all about the process and the way that we're going about things, and I think that's what I'm working with our team is continuing to maximize the the opportunities that we can find for the student athletes. But the businesses that we've worked with, it is tremendous to see their support here in Boise for the student athletes. It is really special to see this community kind of come together. We like to say we are the only show in town here in Idaho. There is Boise State has done a fantastic job just over the last year. I'm just blessed to step into the situation that I'm in here. Obviously, coming off of a college football playoff run and
Oh yeah.
what Lou with our football team has done, he's in a similar role and kind of oversees all of football. And then I'm with the rest of the sports there. So Cody and our team, it's tremendous what they've built here and kind of the planning and preparation for this next step of college athletics. And I've been set up for success of getting to step in and kind of again run the process and understand what we're doing here.
What is your, so I understand the development role that you're in, the Bronco Pro program. It's new, right? I mean, this is okay. So you're kind of on the forefront of this new program. What is your role at Boise State as far, are you involved in recruiting and retention, or is it the kids are here now, let's teach them how to set themselves up? What's your involvement on that side of things?
Yeah, a big piece of the Bronco Pro model is that retention aspect of ensuring that we like to say that we're the most student athlete friendly NIL program in the country. And that's the message that we're communicating to our student athletes and the message that we're communicating to the parents. So a piece of that is retaining our student athletes that we have here and creating the best experience that we can possible for our student athletes while they're here. Providing that next level service from our team to ensure that they feel like we're opening every door and opportunity for them while we're here. But then, yes, our team as well is involved in recruiting with our student athletes and helping them understand kind of the professional organization that we're setting in front of them so that they have the opportunity to take advantage of while they're here with us. So our team does work in recruiting. We work in that retention aspect, and then we work with the current student athletes as well. So, again, it all comes down, it's a big relationship building piece and building the trust from the student athlete, from the parents that, hey, we're going to take care of your kid while you're here with us and provide you every opportunity that we can out in the marketplace. And then again, while they're here, ensuring that we're providing that next level service to the student athlete to, again, ensure that they feel like they have a team around them that is helping them be successful during their time with us.
The thing I like the most about what you're doing and you've done and you will do at Boise State is I talk to people about NIL and the profit sharing and obviously you've got your major teams out there with endless buckets of money and collectives and thing like, and then you've got your mid majors and you have the discussion and it seems like you're on two sides of a coin. It's either you've got the people that believe, well, the people with the deepest pockets win. I don't I don't know, and I'm curious for where you are on that. I don't necessarily believe that. I have to believe that in the end, sure, you're gonna have people out there that just care about the bottom line, but I have to believe in my heart that there will be kids, and there are more kids than not that are going to depend on the relationships they build at the school, what they love about the city, what they love. Are they a legacy graduate, things like that? Where do you stand in that debate? I have to believe that it is not going to come down to 10 schools with the biggest donor base, right? There's got to be more to it. And I think that's probably where you'll find people with such a negative opinion of the NIL space. But I still have to believe that college athletics is going to still be bigger than that. What do you where do you fall in that spectrum?
Yeah, I think where I kind of fall is in one of the reasons again that I came to Boise State is seeing the story of what Ashton Genty was last year with our team, and I think he's such a great example of again of staying the place that kind of grew you and his love and
Hmm.
his family's love for what Boise State is and that opportunity. And again, I think if you're providing that next level resource, you can always make the jump and you can always jump in the portal and look at the different opportunities that are
Right.
out there. And again, there are things that can happen again with budgets and different types of things, but I think if you really truly provide the best experience to the student athlete and build that true, honest connection with them, and they feel that love from the community and they feel the connection back to the university, then I truly think that again, NIL is contributing to that and playing a part in it. But I think it's a great opportunity for someone to stay and grow in a place. Um, and I think that's what our goal is here is again at Boise State we might not have the budget to compete with these giant schools at times, but we are competing on a daily basis and we've done such a great job and we talk about it kind of these our expectations don't match our resources in what we're doing and trying to grow and the next level and our athletic directors are saying Jeremiah is what's next and looking for those next opportunities for us to stay on the forefront there. So yes, I mean, I think obviously there are large budgets in college athletics that are affecting the NIL space, but continuing to provide that next level service to the student athlete and being as innovative as you can, I think will lead to success, even when those budgets don't align and your expectations aren't matching what your resources are that you have.
Yeah, I think your role is pivotal in maintaining those things. I mean, you're a young, charismatic guy. You're teaching these kids how to succeed off the field. I have to believe the relationships you and your team are building are only going to benefit greatly Boise State and the other schools as well, like that have, I imagine, people in similar roles. Like that human connection has to mean something. That connection to the school, that connection to like, hey, here's what we can do. Here's what you can do after Boise State. Like there's value, there's serious intrinsic value in that, and that's what I choose to believe. And I mean, as we're sitting here talking, your football team was in the playoff last year, so okay, it is what it is, right? I mean, success can be found, and you don't need the deepest pockets. So I think it's interesting. I mean, it's changing rapidly. We'll just have to see where it goes. But I think I still think that we have a future where it's not the same 10 teams fighting for a national play football championship, at least on the football side of things. So, what do you have going on at Boise outside of football, man? You guys, I gotta be honest, not super familiar with your sports outside of football, but what do you guys going on? What do you got going on over there, man? You guys got some good teams in other sports. I'm sure you do. Where are you guys excelling over there?
Yeah, man. I think just coming off this past year, I'll pull up what our athletic director put out yesterday. But it is a culture of winning here, and it's a culture of success. And again, looking for every opportunity to do everything we can to be as successful as possible. But let me pull up this. I've got it right here. Our athletic director tweeted it. Yeah. So this past year, Boise State had 16 team or individual conference championships. They had the all-time high GSR rating. We had the highest NFL draft pick in school history, led the Mountain West in attendance for the second consecutive year. Highest year of fundraising, most successful collegiate licensing year in history. Sold out 7 home football games. Basketball team went to the new NIL tournament outside of the NCAA tournament this past year. Just it has been from the outside looking in as I've arrived here, just a tremendous amount of success. And it's truly special in what's here is that everyone is rowing in the same direction. And I think within the athletic department, there's a common theme and goal of being as successful and winning championships across the board. And it's an exciting environment to be a part of on a day-to-day basis. And then the student athletes are special as well. You can tell that they love Boise State. You can tell that they're excited to be here and excited to compete. And then this community just has truly bought into what this place is. And I feel, again, lucky every day when I come to work and energized to be in this community in a way and finding ways to help and give back to what has been growing here for the last few years.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I just brought up. I'm looking at when you guys make the trek to South Bend. It'll be the first time Boise State ever played Notre Dame. I was hoping secretly when this was scheduled that it'd be a home and home because I'd love to see the blue turf. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but it'll be cool to have you guys in South Bend. And the first time ever playing, it'll be really, 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 really cool too. Um, yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, you've got to get to campus with your dad and grandpa, man. You got to make that happen.
Absolutely. No, we're going to work for it. So I'm
All
hoping
right,
to be
good.
there, be special.
Okay, perfect, man. All right. Hey, so one thing I wanted to touch on before we hit the lightning round and I get you out of here because you got stuff to do. So Monogram Club. I haven't gotten to interview anybody part of the Monogram Club. Um, this is cool. And not we don't talk about it often, but there's only about 8,500 living members of the Notre Dame Monogram Club. And to give everybody that watches this interview an idea, I think last year's commencement had close to 31 or 3,200 graduates. So this is pretty exclusive group. Can you take us back to when you got invited and what that looked like? Because that's a really, really cool thing you're a part of that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, no, it was invited. It was after my senior year, and like I said, a lot of the Monogram Club, it comes with your performance on the field and finding a way to give back that way. Mine was much more unique in the way that I couldn't compete. Like I said, I had my surgeries, so
Yeah.
was invited right after my senior year. Actually, my jacket ceremony wasn't able to go because it happened during COVID, but received my jacket and had my name on the wall and the joists, and it's just it's such a special thing, and I just remember the emotions of the day when I was able to receive that and how special that was to me. I just it's a group that again you never think you'd ever be a part of, and then you have the opportunity and the connections, and even after my time at Notre Dame, I've been able to call on people, and the connections within that family has been really special, and I'm really blessed to be a part of it. And again, it doesn't feel real the names that I'm mentioned next to,
Yeah.
and again, their service on the field is much different than what mine looked like, and I just am so humbled that they considered me for that for the work that I was able to do there, and again, it's one of my greatest honors in life is to be a part of that club.
Well earned, my friend. All right, buddy. I'm gonna get you out of here. We're gonna hit our lightning round. We do this with everybody. Tailored it a little bit different for you, but it's usually the same questions. So, um, let's start here. Your favorite spot on Notre Dame campus? Where was your favorite spot to hang out on campus when you were there?
Yep.
Visit.
So I would say there's a bench by the lake, about halfway around. That was my walk-to spot and relax. You could see back to campus. Walked over there. There's usually some geese and ducks and things there. So that was my kind of place of peace on campus. Would walk halfway around the lake and kind of sit and relax there.
So you're blowing my mind here because I just had Kathleen Kiefer on who is a Notre Dame artist and an artist based out of California, alum and everything too. And her and I have the same favorite spot on campus, which is a bench around St. Mary's Lake. Do you happen to remember if it's near the log chapel or the old campus or the log chapel there on near the
Yeah.
grotto?
Okay, so it's a little bit further around. It's kind of towards that parking lot that's out there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved it because there's a gap in the trees there where you can see
Yeah.
the full lake and you can see back to campus. You can kind of see the grotto, but you can really see the basilica and the dome there. It was
Very, very
awesome.
cool. Very, there's a chance we all three share the same bench, but okay, that's wild. Okay, so South Bend, maybe it's been too long for you to answer this one. Favorite lunch or dinner spot? Do you even recall where you like to go hit up when you were either a student or when you'd come back
Oh
or?
yeah. So I became a big Portillo's fan.
Oh yeah.
After it came, that was
Oh yeah.
huge. While I was a student, it was probably Blaze or Chipotle on Eddy
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Have you so when was the last time you were on campus then? It was it 19 for was it
No,
since
it was
graduation?
yeah, it was probably I think I was there last summer. I think I
Oh, you
went
were.
for a couple days last summer.
So you
Yeah.
got to see how built out Eddy Street is now.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
No,
man.
it's
Oh my
awesome.
God, it's awesome. Okay, your favorite moment as a student athlete.
Uh, oh gosh, we played it out. I guess it was either my junior or my senior year. We opened. I think it was my junior year. We opened at LSU. Won two or three games at LSU. And it was at the time it was two of the three were in the top 10 most attended college baseball games in the history of college baseball.
Wow.
So they've fallen out since Mississippi State's park has grown. But at the time, I think we were in the top 10 of twice for games there. They were open the first weekend of the season, night games at LSU. That was the craziest environment that I've ever been a part of in college baseball.
That is awesome, man. Okay, so last question. I usually ask this a different way, but your impact on athletics is so, I mean, you're really, really doing something special and you're an awesome, selfless guy, man. This has been an honor, truly. If you had to describe your contribution to college athletics today, you would say what?
I think kind of where I'm at is again, and it's my goal is just helping student athletes realize the opportunity that they have. As someone who had their opportunity taken away really quickly, helping them understand that how quickly it can go away, and then helping them embrace that opportunity and the way that they can give back in different ways. So I think it's a lot of perspective taking and helping the student athlete understand that. And I think in my role, like I said, as a former student athlete who's had that experience. I have a unique message that I can communicate back to, and I think again that my goal at Notre Dame and my goal kind of in our program at Western Kentucky, and something that I've continued to bring to Boise State is empowering the student athlete to maximize their impact and where their passions lie. So helping them understand where are my passions, what are my values, and then how do we maximize your impact in those areas. And I think that has been my goal and what I've kind of strive to do on a day-to-day basis as I work with these athletes.
Colin, it has been a pleasure, man. Thank you. Thanks for talking NIL. Thanks for talking about what you're doing in college athletics. I really, really hope I get to meet you on the 4th of October. That'd be great. We'll talk about transferring tickets to your grandfather offline here. But thank you for your time. I know you're busy. You've got a lot going on and means a lot, man. Thank you for joining.
Awesome, man.
All
Appreciate
right,
you.
all
Thank
right,
you.
buddy. Thank you very much, man.